What is up, Super Fam and Bro Vengers alike? I am Sensei Finito, aka Vane Sensei, and welcome to Marvel Bros, where we discuss all things Marvel and everything pop culture. And today we are talking about a whole bunch of awesome things, if I do say so myself. We're talking Captain America 4, Thunderbolts, and Henry Cavill possibly joining the MCU. It's going to be a jam-packed episode today, and I hope everyone is ready for it. If you guys haven't already, make sure you follow us on social media at Marvel Bros to stay up to date with all things Marvel and everything pop culture. And you can also follow me on social media at Sensei Finito to stay up to date with all my thoughts, theories, and opinions on whatever particular thing we may be partaking in at that particular time. And of course, you already know, man, check out the podcast wherever you check out podcasts at. Type in Marvel Bros in that search bar, see what pops up, give it a listen, give it a review, and let us know how we do. With all that being said, man, I am super excited to jump in today's episode of Marvel Bros because, like I said, we have a jam-packed, we just have a lot of things to nerd out about, theorize about, and just be nerdy about. Okay, so it's time to get nerdy, so let's get nerdy. Make sure you jump in the chat because we will be able to have that open discussion, as we always do, about all the crazy different things that are going on. Make sure you check out that TikTok because, man, we just put out some new TikToks today, and we're gonna continue to be putting out TikToks and stuff like that in the future. Let me know how you guys like this new format type of vibe of where I kind of stand up sometimes and talk to you guys. I really like it because I sit down basically all day since I work from home. So being able to stand up sometimes and have these conversations and nerd out, it's awesome. So I want to know how you guys feel about it. And like I said, we're going to be getting nerdy today, as nerdy as we can. So let's get a 1 in the chat if you guys are excited for Captain America Brave New World, because that is the first thing that we're going to be talking about today. Captain America 4 Brave New World. If you guys don't know about Captain America, we're going to tell you about it right now. So Captain America Brave New World is basically going to be I wouldn't say a team-up movie or anything like that, but I know that there's supposed to be a lot of things going on within this movie. Captain America Brave New World is going to kind of be that mini Avengers movie. It is going to be very similar to Civil War and The Winter Soldier. If you think about it, all of Captain America's movies, except the first one, were basically mini Avengers film, where there were multiple characters. It was basically a team up, you know what I mean? You basically got a team up in every Captain America movie except the first Avenger. And I think this fourth installment will continue with that fact, right? So we're going to see a lot of characters, but we're not going to see a oversaturation of characters, if you will. Very similar to Civil War. Yet again, Civil War was an amazing movie for so many reasons, as well as Winter Soldier. But I think we might be getting to me, in my opinion, what we've heard about Captain America Brave New World so far, what it seems like to me is it's going to be a combination of both Civil War and The Winter Soldier. That's just kind of how I'm feeling right off the top of my head, for a lot of reasons, right? I feel like that because, one, we've already talked about it a little bit, but this is going to be a film that is covering all of the government stuff that has been happening in Phase 4. So that's one thing that I feel like a lot of people have kind of been missing about Phase 4 is the entire government strings that have been basically throughout the entirety of it, right? Whether we're talking about WandaVision and what the government was doing with Vision, or Falcon and Winter Soldier and what the government was doing with the Shield and trying to create a completely different Captain America, and also what we've been seeing with, Val and her thread throughout all of the Phase 4 that we've had until now, with going to all these different bad-ish guys and forming their own Avengers team as well with the Thunderbolts, which we'll be talking about a little bit later. Also, all of that stuff is basically going to be in Captain America Brave New World. It's called Captain America Brave New World for a reason. Let's not forget that Captain America 4 was at first titled New World Order, which is something that I think that they should heavily stick to because that name is awesome. New World Order is just an awesome name that a lot of people know about. They understand understand what it means when you hear it. It gets even people that don't know comic books, if they hear New World Order, it's going to, spark a little something in their brain, and it's going to make them want to check it out. Brave New World also does that as, too, because if I'm not mistaken, Brave New World is also a quote from a president, similarly to how New World Order is, or am I thinking of a Brave New Frontier? It's something like that, something along the lines of that, but still, I'm pretty sure both of those are quotes from past presidents, which once again, makes a lot of sense since we know what's going to be happening in Captain America Brave New World. The stage is set, whether it's from Secret Invasion or any of the other projects that I've previously stated about what's going to be going on, right? We're looking for a new president, basically, and I don't want to say the main purpose or the only purpose or the only reason, but, one of the main things is General Thunderbolt Ross coming into it and becoming the president of the United States, and then also possibly becoming Red Hulk and all of that good vibes. Like, that's something that we've all kind of known about when it comes to Brave New World for a while. They even announced it at San Diego Comic-Con. They also talked about the leader being in this. We were supposed to be getting Serpent Society, but guess what? Today, we actually found out that Serpent Society has been completely removed from Captain America Brave New World. If you guys want a little bit more about that, you can go check out our TikTok at Marvel Bros on TikTok and check out, the new video that we posted there. It's not just on TikTok, it's also on Instagram and Facebook, and basically wherever you watch your reels or short form content, you can go check that out and you'll get all that information, basically. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. But yeah, so no more Serpent Society in this movie at all. Let's talk about Serpent Society for a second. I don't know if you guys remember, but there was a little movie called Captain America Civil War. And before it was titled Civil War, it was actually titled Serpent Society. So I find it very interesting that this is now not one, but 2 times. I mean, if I had a nickel for every time Captain America has changed from being about Serpent Society to being about something else completely different, I'd have 2 nickels. It's not a lot, but it's weird. It's just weird that it happened twice, man. I don't know what else to say. It's super weird that has happened 2 times now. And I'm really interested in why we can't have the Serpent Society. Now, I did see people saying Serpent Society may have been a finesse to the audience to make us think it was about Serpent Society, but the whole time they were going to do Civil War. But I think it's very similar to how New World Order turned into Brave New World. I think it's something that they kind of had an idea about to begin with, and then for some reason, it changed. I don't know what that reason is. I don't know why they changed it. I don't know why they decided to go with what they went with now. But we're talking that the Serpent Society was on set. There was a cast. They had costumes, outfits, the whole 9 yards. But no one cares. Like, we just don't care about that anymore for some reason. And I'm not sure what that reason is. But, the Serpent Society, by all means, probably isn't like the biggest thing to ever happen, and it's not like they're, not S.H.I.E.L.D., but it's not like they're Hydra. I guess you can say that. I guess some people can say that. I know a lot of people really do like the Serpent Society. I'm one of those people that enjoy them, but I don't know the most about the Serpent Society, so it's like, But still, excuse me, even though we're not getting the Serpent Society, they weren't even the biggest thing that I was hyped about when it comes to this movie, so I could really care less about the Serpent Society, and I think that's why they keep getting put on the back burner until they can get done right and not just done as this big one-off type of thing. They need to be, I think, the Serpent Society, and not just them, but a lot of other Marvel evil organizations, if you will, like the Hellfire Club and all these other things. I think they really do need to take a step into the light, along with like the leader. And what were they called in She-Hulk? I can't remember what they were called in She-Hulk, but their little, the intelligentsia, if you will. But the intelligentsia, right? We know that they've kind of been doing their own little weird thing online, and it's like, I appreciate She-Hulk with what they did with the intelligentsia, because it leaves room for there to be a lot more for that story, right? It's not like the entirety of the intelligentsia were those weird dudes that were doing the weird stuff, right? There could be a completely different sect. Basically, what I'm saying is, we could basically get 10 rings again, right? Like, think about what happened with the 10 rings. Everybody was so freaking bummed about what they did with 10 rings in Iron Man 3, but then they rectified it. They super changed it. And now the 10 Rings is actually an entire organization that's big how they should be. Wen-Wu was freaking awesome. And now we have a new person running the 10 Rings. We got Shang-Chi out there being a new Avenger. So it's like, hey, it's very possible that they could do that same thing there. I believe, right? I think that's safe to say. So they continue on with Captain America Brave New World. We will see Sam Wilson being Captain America. It will be his first debut as fully being Captain America for us. We did get to see a hint of that in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but the movie is quite literally called Falcon and Winter Soldier. And in the last movie that we have had that mentioned Cap in some way, other than, actual Captain America with like Spider-Man, I think Spider-Man No Way Home mentioned him because Statue of Liberty was supposed to have the shield. All that good stuff, right? So that happens, and then, Eternals. In Eternals, they actually ask who's going to be the new Captain America. And that movie was so long ago, and we really don't know where it falls in place with the timeline of everything else that's going on in the MCU. I guess we technically do now, actually, since we have that MCU picture that I think about. But, still. We have, now that we have that picture and all that good stuff, but we don't know where Captain America Brave New World falls in place and so on and so forth and so on and so forth. So anyway, my bad. But we're going to see Sam Wilson finally be like at the helm of the mantle, being Captain America for real in Captain America 4 and not Falcon. We will see, I can't think of his name. I apologize for not being able to think of his name, but the I believe he's Latino. The Latino gentleman from the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the one that Sam gives the Falcon suit to, he will reprise that role as Falcon in Brave New World as well, which I think is going to be awesome to see him as. I was really hyped to see him get those wings like that there too. I don't know if we're going to see the Winter Soldier or the Thunderbolts in this movie too much, but I think we might. I think maybe we were supposed to before, but now I think Brave New World actually comes out after Thunderbolts because of the delays and rewrites and all the things that have been going on. So I'm not really sure what's supposed to be going on there. But still, being able to see him, don that mantle will be pretty awesome. And then, like I said, we're going to see President Red Hulk come into the fray, but I don't think he's going to be full-blown President Red Hulk yet. We're probably going to see a small election thing go on. That's one of my biggest gripes. Small tangent. That's one of my biggest gripes about the MCU right now is we have not seen the election going on in the background. I think the MCU really sleeps on the fact that they can just do whatever they want and then it be canon. That's one of the biggest things that pisses me off. Think about it, what they did with Thor, right? They gave him an entire little short series about him having a freaking roommate, right? Like Thor's roommate and all that stuff going on, right? They could literally do the smallest things in that way and just catch us up to date with certain things, and we would love it. Give Kamala Khan an actual YouTube channel and put out wild updates about what's going on in the MCU. We would eat that up. The school that Peter went to and how they did the little PSA stuff. Do something like that and put it out on YouTube to keep us up to date with what's going on in the MCU. We would all love that and eat it up. And this is another place where I think that comics could come into play as far as the MCU goes, filling in these gaps with the stories and giving us a little bit more timeline. We talked about it in another TikTok that we made earlier today for our short-form content on Marvel Bros. Go check it out. But we talked about how Star Wars has a never-ending backstory because they're always utilizing comics and books and video games and shows and movies to all weave this narrative together that will literally never end. And it's kind of wild that the MCU is not doing the same thing in the form of, hey, let's use all these different forms of media to enhance the narrative. I think that would be awesome. And it's just really unfortunate that we don't get to see that. Tangent over. Now, I am super excited to see it for multiple reasons. We have Harrison Ford reprising the role as General Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, whatever his name is, after the late great. I'm sorry, I don't remember his name. I apologize. His name is not coming to my mind right now. Hold on. I feel bad, so let me look it up real quick because I really don't remember his name, unfortunately. William Hurt, I believe. After the late, great William Hurt passed away, after William Hurt passed away, unfortunately, and unexpectedly, I believe is the word I was looking for. Unexpectedly passed away. Harrison Ford has picked up the mantle and will reprise that role going into Captain America 4. Now, that, it's very unfortunate about William Hurt. We were really crushed about that when it happened. Me and Battery were actually talking about how he kind of looked like he was declining in his health. When we had seen him a couple of times, we were like, oh man, he's actually looking kind of old, and we weren't sure if it was because of what they were trying to do with the movie or if, he was sick. And unfortunately, he ended up being sick and passing away. And then Harrison Ford has reprised that role. I'm really interested in seeing what Harrison Ford can do as Thunderbolt Ross. I actually think he's a great person to have that role because he can be super serious and you really not know what's going on. And he does have what's it called? What's the word I'm looking for? Not menacing, but there's a presence that he brings with him, and I appreciate that presence, and it makes you feel like, oh man, I need to. Maybe I should relax and pay a little bit of attention, and I like that. Man, I can't think of the word that I'm thinking of, but he has that presence that comes with him, and I think it's going to be dope to see him reprise that role as Red Hulk, Thaddeus Ross, and get him under the mocap and do all of that type of stuff. I think it'll be really cool to see him take on that role. I believe that's kind of the gist of the things that we know about Captain America: Brave New World. Because a lot of the other stuff that I'm thinking about, I'm pretty sure pertains to Thunderbolts and not to Cap 4. If Mike Beasy, if you're in here lurking, man, feel free to fill in some gaps and let us know about a few things. But let's jump into chat and see how everybody is doing and how's it going. Because I just kind of had to get all that stuff out because it was just there in my brain hole. Sensei, you are so small. Did Scott Lang do this to you? Mare Sue coming through with the dad joke immediately.
Hello there.
How you doing, Mare Sue? I hope you're having a good one today. No, Scott Lang did not shrink me. I did this all by myself. I did this all by myself, all on my lonesome. Let's see. Sup, Sensei? Yo, what's up with it, Rant?
Hello there.
How you doing, Rant? I appreciate you for tuning in, man. How you doing? Long time no see. Hey, Marsu. I'm not all that excited for Captain America because Sam isn't that cool. LOL, he has no powers. Bro, you don't need powers to be cool. Come on, Rant. Don't do that. Don't do that to Sam. He doesn't deserve that. My man is the guy. You know what I mean? Look at what he can do with that suit, with that Falcon suit alone. That's awesome. That's awesome. I love that, right? And then he has the shield and adamantium. His suit and adamantium. Like, he's gonna be a force to be reckoned with, going into the future. One thing I'm interested in seeing how they do it is the whole having to have a new suit, you know what I mean? Like in the movie, like is he gonna like are the Wakandans gonna pull up and take away his adamantium and then he gets a new suit, or are they gonna make him another adamantium suit? You know, I'm very interested in knowing what that leads to and what all that has to do with everything, because you know, it's definitely interesting to me at the very least that yeah, it's definitely interesting to me that we're going to be having different suits and all that, because his suit's made out of vibranium, and that is kind of how he will have that one up. Is it vibranium? Yeah, it's vibranium, not adamantium. You know, he has that vibranium suit, and that will give him the one up that he needs when he's fighting or doing whatever it is that he's doing. Snacking on some fruit salad, watching Sensei go off. Fruit salad, doom doom doom, yummy yummy. Yo, I love me some fruit salad, yo, for real for real. I love Harrison Ford, but is he really right for this? The man is gonna be 82 this summer. I think that's older than Joe Biden. It very may well be. It very may well be. He may very well be older than Joe Biden. But I mean, look at him. He's doing his thing. He's been in so many movies, and he was in Yellowstone, the original thing, and then the Indiana Jones movie, and then I think he was in another movie. Like, he wants to keep acting, even though he is hella old. So I'm also very interested in what that means. And they may even do a thing where they make Red Hulk go full mocap all the time, and then just have him voice it, because he's not going to be doing a lot of, you know what I'm saying. Small tangent again, voice acting. I really think voice acting needs to be used a lot more when it comes to these characters. I mean, look at, okay, Josh Brolin did not voice act Thanos, but I'm just talking Darth Vader, Mando Season 3, those type of things. I think they can go a very far way if we use more voice actors in these ways, right? Again, Mando Season 3, Pedro Pascal did not even get in the suit once to be the Mandalorian. He just was voice acting everything, and then the body doubles and stunt actors and those alike were the ones that we saw portraying him on screen. He was never there the entirety of the season. Same for Darth Vader, right? Hayden Christensen, he was there being his younger self as Anakin, and then we have the AI stuff doing James Earl Jones' voice now, and then we have a actor that goes into, or a body double and a stunt double. Yeah, there we go, a stunt double that goes into the suit and does all of the body acting. You know, I think body acting and voice acting are things that we may need to kind of go into a little bit more. And the reason I say all of this, other than what we were just talking about when it goes with Harrison Ford being an old man, 82 years old, and about to be Red Hulk, and is expected to be doing all these possible acrobatic things, it's because once you have that one voice actor or whatever, you can go through a range of, body actors or whatever, stunt doubles that you need to, and then just kind of, go from there. I mean, look at Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom is the perfect person to even do that with, right? All we really need with Doctor Doom more than anything is an amazing person that can do, very swift and body language and crazy motions. But most importantly, we just need that voice. The voice is already going to be, edited because of the mask and how it's going to be sounding and all of that. So unless they want to give us full Doom backstory, we don't need we don't need to see Giancarlo Esposito actually be in the Doom costume, because I don't think a lot of people want stuff like that. You know what I mean? We don't have to see all these other things. Give us the actor with good, give us somebody that got the eyes, that can do the body, the body language properly, and then go get Giancarlo or any of the other amazing people that there have been listed to do the voice of Doom, and just have them voice act them. Because I know a lot of people don't want to go into the full MCU stuff and do all of the other things. I'm saying, man, it just seems like we could do a better job with, we could go farther with stuff like that. Same with Beast. You know, any of those type of characters that are mostly CGI'd and all of that, let's just do voice acting for them, and then bring in someone else to do the other stuff. But that might be more expensive than I know. Who knows? When we're dealing with these billion-dollar companies, they're always trying to cut costs in every way possible. So maybe it is cheaper to have one person doing the acting and the voice and everything anyway. I don't know. But I'm just saying, I think it would be really smart to do that. To do that, especially since it's already been done with The Mandalorian Season 3. It went perfectly. It worked perfectly, in my opinion. I really enjoyed that season. I enjoy everything about The Mandalorian. But yeah, that small tangent is now also over. That small tangent is also over. But I am super hyped to continue to check out and to continue to get ready for all the things that are going to be happening with Captain America Brave New World, seeing Sam Wilson in the new suit, seeing him finally be Captain America. It was dope to see him kind of deny the super soldier serum. Whoa. It's like he denied the shield, he denied the serum. Those are the two things that made Cap. Well, not made Cap, but that's what makes Captain America, aside from, you know, all that other stuff. And then he earns the shield back, and then instead of getting, you know, the other thing, he gets the vibranium. It's like, yes, that all works for me. I am all the way here for all of it, and it's dope, man. And now we get to also see what will happen when we continue with the rest of the MCU, with him now being Captain America. They made it a point to let us know, you know, I mean, hey, they did a good job with the Falcon and Winter Soldier show, okay? People would definitely be set tripping about a black man being Captain America, and my people of the black side would also be tripping about a black man being Captain America. And I think that they portrayed both of those sides, but, you know, being that Falcon is, or that the new Captain America, whatever you want to say. I mean, it's hard to call him Captain America because we haven't seen him as Captain America yet, so we got to wait for him to be fully Captain America, fully, until we can keep saying that, even though I know he's been in, like, Disney and all of that other stuff. You know, I understand all of that. Or the Disney cruises and all of that, but it's like, until we see my man in the theaters on screen as Captain America, it's going to be hard for us to call him Captain America, you know, because the last movie Cap we've seen is our boy, Steve. So, when Sam is in the movie, then we get to go with that. But, anyway, I'm pumped, I'm excited, and I really can't wait to see what happens with this movie. I hope you guys are pumped and excited too when it comes to Captain America 4 Brave New World. What do you guys want to see? What villains would you like to pop up? If I missed anything about Brave New World that you know of, definitely let me know in the comments, or if you're listening back on on Apple Music or wherever you listen to your podcast, let me know. Let me know how you're feeling. But yeah, man, that's it for the Captain America portion of it. And then next, we're going to talk about Thunderbolts. But before we do, you guys should already know what time it is. It's time to go get you some Dom's Bomb gourmet popcorn.
Hi, my name is Dominique Pruitt, and I started Dom's Bomb Gourmet Popcorn LLC in the summer of 2021 to introduce delicious and unique flavored popcorn not found anywhere else in the world. Why, you ask? Because I make it in my home with love, just for you. We offer over 10 flavors and are continuously creating new flavors that can be customized to any color or taste for your next event, party, or fundraiser. So go find yourself to our website and find a bombastic flavor of popcorn at donsbombgourmetpopcorn.com, or you can also follow us on Instagram or Facebook at Don's Bomb Gourmet Popcorn.
That is right. Make sure y'all go get you some Dom's Bomb Gourmet Popcorn, with a popcorn is always bomb, gourmet, and of course, is made by Dom. Okay, Man, I had a good time talking about Captain America just now, but now let's talk about the next thing on the docket that I'm really pumped about, equally pumped about, and that is Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts is going to be amazing, man. At least I hope it is, right? Because Thunderbolts, much like Captain America 4, was introduced to us at San Diego Comic-Con. What seems like 50 years ago now. I mean, that seems like it was just so long ago when we did that. But they were announced side by side, and with the announcement of Thunderbolts, we found out that it was going to be one hell of a roster in that movie, right? There was going to be a roster that I don't think anyone really expected, in the form of... Whoops. Hold on, let me bring it up again. My bad, I just had it. In the form of Bucky, the Winter Soldier, Red Guardian, U.S. Agent, Ghost, Taskmaster, Sentry, Val, and Yelena Belova, the new Black Widow. Now, this, again, came to all of us as a complete surprise more than anything else, because it was like, what? Like, not only are we getting Thunderbolts, but it's like all of these crazy Captain America clones type of vibe, which makes sense for the government and the MCU with the whole Super Soldier program and them wanting to get all the super soldiers and Black Widows and things. It's like, no doubt they're gonna circle all of that around to like, oh, you're basically government property because the serum and all this other stuff, or however they will twist it, whether it be because of their criminal past, their history, and all of that, because the Thunderbolts, for all intents and purposes, will be very similar to the MCU's Suicide Squad. That's basically, Marvel's Suicide Squad is basically what the Thunderbolts will be, but, just MCU'd, and not... So it'll be majorly different because it is MCU, but it's basically going to be their Suicide Squad, right? And I think it's a really good cast of actors. The characters, they could definitely do a little bit better when it comes to the characters that we are going to see. But I mean, the actors for Thunderbolts, I think that's one of the best things about it, is all of those actors together are going to be a powerhouse. David Harbour, Sebastian Stan, Florence Pugh, and others. You know what I mean? And others. It's gonna be super crazy to see everybody kind of coming together. You know what I mean? And Val, we've seen Val now be spread across multiple projects, very similar to how we saw Nick Fury in the first phase. Val is now kind of taking that spot, and Thunderbolts is the new like Avengers. And then Damage Control is kind of like the new Shield. Yeah, I guess that's a good thing to say. So it'll be interesting to see how both of those respective sides come into play in this new movie, because we have a lot coming with it, right? Like, the Thunderbolts is going to be jam-packed. It'll be another one of those crossover type of movies that we've kind of already talked about and looked at, but it will be obviously completely different for a multitude of reasons. First and foremost, we have this crazy cast that will mix together either like water and oil, or like water and something that mixes with water. Water and sugar, for lack of better words. Like, one of these things are going to happen, and I don't know which one it is. I'm excited either way, because even the water and oil mixture can make for a really fun time when I'm really interested in seeing how Yelena and the Winter Soldier interact together, how Red Guardian and the Winter Soldier act together, how U.S. Agent and Red Guardian act together. You know what I mean? It's like, the matchups everywhere are going to be awesome, no matter who it is. No matter if it is Red Guardian and U.S. Agent, or Ghost and Taskmaster, or Sentry and Winter Soldier. It's going to be awesome no matter what. So that is a very big, not prize point, but yes, prize point for everybody, I think. Is like, oh, we're going to get some really good cross-contamination, no matter who it is, or banter, or whatever you may call it, no matter what. and I am super excited to see that happening. One of the major things that we know is that this is another project that is plagued by delays. I think that is one of the biggest things that everyone is also forgetting about when it comes to the MCU in Phase 4 is that the delays, rewrites, and reshoots have been out of the wazoo for so many reasons, not just because of COVID or multiple strikes, the actors and the writers, or because of the visual effects artists that had got fired, or the removal of the former CEO. Not any of those five things that we just stated, but also because actors that gotta act, man. So if they're not able to jump in, if they're not able to start, filming at a decent amount of time, then guess what? The next person is going to have to take that spot. The next person is going to have to take that place, or they're going to have to just get back to the drawing board and continue to have to look for someone that would be able to make it and actually film and do all the things that they need them to do. Not to mention that the contracts are usually for multiple movies as well. So there's a lot more things in that that we got to kind of pay attention to and focus on when it comes to the MCU. So I am very I'm not weary of it, but I'm hyped about it, just because, I mean, bruh, the storyline behind it, we've talked about it before. It sounds crazy, right? So, no matter what, with all the dropouts and reshuffling around, the basics of the story are still there. And the team is going to be led by Yelena Belova, the new Black Widow. And, we are going to be focusing on adamantium being brought into the MCU via Tiamut Island that was introduced in Eternals. So in Eternals, Tiamut kind of was emerging from, the world. So that took, and everybody's kind of been like, why the hell doesn't anyone know about it? Why haven't we talked about it? And basically the reason is because it is going to be the entire focal point of not the entire. I think it's going to be one of the main focal points of the Thunderbolts, is to traverse the Tiamut Island and retrieve said adamantium that will also be being sought out and looked for by other governments of the world, something that was introduced to us in Black Panther 2 when we saw that the French were trying to invade Wakanda or use vibranium or something like that. They were trying to get vibranium and use it, and that is why the Wakandans busted in on the UN meeting that they had. So that was one of the strands that they laid for this future project of Thunderbolts, right? That's one of the things that matters so much about the MCU, is that just because we don't know something right this minute, they can always, it's a never-ending backstory. So they can go back and fill that gap in, because the new movie that we have in 2 years can just take place in this time period right here, and then we get to know, oh, that's what happened. It doesn't work as seamlessly as it does with Star Wars. We have to kind of stay within the same, like within a phase or two of each other, just to kind of keep it cohesive and understanding, and understanding for the audience, for the general audience. So it's not like, oh man, what? And I think that's another thing that Marvel kind of has hurt themselves with a little bit, is not being crazy chronological with their movies. It's a good and a bad thing, right? I think it does more harm than good, because it does more harm than it does good. Because if you think about it, when we watch a movie, we expect it to be the next movie in order of what's going on in the MCU. But it's not like that, and it's never really been like that, I guess you could say, but that's why it's very important to have those timestamps on things and have things dated, so we know that, oh, this happened then and that happened then, and the MCU timeline book is important for that type of reason as well. But now we're going into the multiverse and rewriting things, and probably going to be, so it's a lot that comes with it. But it's going to be interesting to see how Tiamut and the governments of the world are interested in the vibranium that is there, right? That'll be awesome. And I don't think that we will see any. Well, I mean, it's not impossible, but I don't think we'll see any like Wolverine type stuff in Captain America. Even though we will be having that adamantium be introduced, uh, even though we'll have that happening. It will still be very much so that kind of team up movie that we're looking for. Uh, Bucky being in it. Well, not Bucky being in it, but according to Daniel RPK, who drops scoops from time to time, the Thunderbolts roster in terms of highest to lowest priority, basically, who the character that is most important on the Thunderbolts to the character that is not as the most important. It starts at Yelena, then it goes to Val, then Sentry. Ghost and Taskmaster kind of share that 4th and 5th spot. 6th place coming at U.S. Agent. 7th is Bucky. And then 8th is Red Guardian. So this makes a lot of sense because Red Guardian, if we start at the bottom to going up to why they're not important to why they are, Red Guardian doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things at all. He might die in this movie to give Yelena a little bit more, care or want to continue going. I don't know. But Red Guardian is just comedic relief, basically, type of vibe. Bucky, we don't need this movie. We don't need Thunderbolts to be about the Winter Soldier. We don't. That's not what we need this movie to be about. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier was literally called that for a reason because it went over Falcon in crazy depth and then it went over the Winter Soldier in crazy depth. And that's why I think it is possible to see the Winter Soldier kind of be spread out a little bit more across projects and not just be, here, but be able to see him in something else on Disney Plus in the future, and then in the in the Captain America movie as well, and just kind of see him a little bit of everywhere. It's definitely possible. And then U.S. Agent. A U.S. Agent, he matters, kinda, but again, his story was just in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And even though it's not just because The Falcon and the Winter Soldier was super long ago, but still, they went over his story very heavily there. We saw him get the mantle. We saw him ruin the mantle of Captain America and then have to kind of get that. Well, not ruin the mantle of Captain America, but what he did with that shield was just a travesty. And then we saw him pick up this new mantle as U.S. Agent, so we don't really need to see a lot about him in this movie because we kind of already know about him, and it's not like his character is going to be super duper different from the last time we saw him, similar to Bucky and Red Guardian. Now, Ghost and Taskmaster is a little bit unfortunate. Ghost was supposed to have a little bit more of a higher role in this movie before, but I think they went with Yelena instead, which makes sense. She's the new Black Widow, and they're going to try to continue her story with a lot of things. We've seen her kind of be seeded throughout the MCU. Not a lot, but a little bit. We saw her in Black Widow, of course. They also used Yelena to give us that point of view of how the snap worked for some people, like we got to see that there, and that was an amazing thing to see. They used that moment so we could be emotionally connected to her. Same thing they did with Monica Rambeau. Makes a lot of sense. It's a really dope thing to see because we're instantly connected to the character because it's the blip. Really smart way to do things. But yeah, Ghost is taking more of a back seat in the movie, and I think that it's because of the next thing that we're going to talk about, and it's not Taskmaster, but Taskmaster just doesn't really matter too much. They fumbled the bag on the Taskmaster character in Black Widow, so there's not a lot of ways that they can redeem it unless they do like a passing of the mantle to another person that is Taskmaster, and then that person is the one that we actually are all expecting to be Taskmaster. But I think that Ghost and Taskmaster both take a backseat to this next character, and that is Sentry. Now, Sentry will not have a humongous part, but he will have a bigger part than Adam Warlock had in the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, in my opinion. He will be very similar, like how Adam Warlock was in the movies will be how he is in this one movie, in the form of being created and then going crazy and maybe not being redeemed, but just the going crazy part, and then that's probably where we ended at, right? And that's why I kind of was hinting at it earlier that Tiamat Island will not be the main focal point in this movie. It will be one of the focal points because we're going to be dealing with Sentry and the U.S. government kind of doing the experimentation, continuing the super soldier program, and then we're also going to be doing the government trying to get their hands on the natural resource of adamantium that will be in Tiamat. So it's a lot going on there, but that's what's going to be happening. But that's what's going to be happening. And so that's why it makes sense why we're not going to be getting a lot of that Ghost, a lot of that Taskmaster, but we will be seeing a little more Sentry. And then of course we'll also be seeing more Val. This also makes a lot of sense because Val, we've seen Val being Val doing a lot of things now, right? Val has been but Val has been in a lot of projects as well. We saw her in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We saw her at the end of Black Widow. We also saw her in Black Panther, Black Panther 2. And then I think we saw her in one more thing but I might be mistaken. But I really feel like there's one more project where we saw her in. But we will also be seeing her in this, in Thunderbolts. So it will be really great to see, how all of that plays out and what we will kind of get to see go on there. And for the characters and for all of them teaming up. But Val is what we saw from Black Panther 2 was really interesting because of how she treated her husband, who we found out was a Skrull in Secret Invasion. Don't know how that long that's been going on, but just seeing how she was acting and had the drop on him and being the director of the CIA, it's like, okay, now we're really getting into a lot of things. So it's possible that she might even get a small, not a small, but like, what's the word? A promotion into being like the head of S.H.I.E.L.D., but not S.H.I.E.L.D., of course, and not S.W.O.R.D., but not damage control, but something else, maybe it does say the CIA, but I think Thunderbolts are possible to become a huge thing within the MCU for sure. And then of course, the most important character, last but not least, we have Yelena, right? We know that Marvel dropped the ball with not giving us a Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson movie a long time ago. Like, they dropped the ball on that. We should have had it. First thing is that should have been in phase whatever, like Captain America, Winter Soldier. Then we should have had the Black Widow movie not too long after that. I think the movie actually takes place between Civil War and the other thing, so maybe even right there we could have had it. But again, it makes sense to see Yelena taking the role and being that the main character in the movie, the main driving force, the leader of the team, because she's been doing this, well, not the longest outside of Bucky, but Bucky was, brainwashed for a lot of that time. So it makes sense, man. She's the one that has the most control over, not over people, but has the most mental control out of every single person in this group. She's the one that is the most sane. So it's very, very, very awesome. And then Mike Beasley said that Bucky is a bait and switch. He's not in the film like you think he is, and neither is Red Guardian, but they get hip to what their real mission is, and then they do it, and then, it's a very simple plot, and then it involves the weapon plus elements. So there are going to be large hints at mutants and possible Sony characters that will be crossing over, yo. So, we have a jamboree of things that can go on within this movie, Thunderbolts, and it makes me super hyped and super excited for the future of the MCU. The same goes for Captain America, not Captain America Winter Soldier, but Captain America Brave New World. Captain America Brave New World and Thunderbolts have a huge potential to continue the amazingness in the MCU, but also bringing that spy espionage type of vibe that so many people are kind of looking for from the MCU. It's something that they dropped the ball on a little bit after Civil War and Winter Soldier, giving us those amazing spy espionage vibes, and I think they kind of brought it back with Secret Invasion as well. Civil they brought it back with Secret Invasion. They brought it back with the Winter Soldier a little bit. Winter Soldier was more government type of vibe rather than spy type of vibe. But it still was good. And so I'm hoping that we can kind of get that spy vibe back with either Brave New World or with Thunderbolts. But in my opinion, like, Brave New World is going to be Civil War and Winter Soldier mixed together, and then Thunderbolts will be Winter Soldier and Civil War mixed together. In my opinion, that's how those movies will be. The same but different on opposite sides of the coin, and I think that's exactly what we need. I think that's exactly where we are for the MCU. I'm excited, and I hope you guys are too, for what's going to be going on and what's going to be happening for sure. For sure, man. Like, for sure, for sure. It's going to be amazing. So, we got one more thing to talk about, but it's not going to be a big thing to talk about, you know what I'm saying? But Henry Cavill maybe joining the MCU. We don't have a lot on this just yet. We have a little bit on it, but apparently he will be joining the MCU as none other than Captain Britain, possibly. Nah, it's not confirmed. It's just, that's who he wants to be. We don't know if he's going to be Sentry. That's probably not happening. People are saying it's possible that, like I just said, he's Captain Britain. I did see a concept art today for him being Cyclops, which I think would be interesting, but no. And, that's kind of it. We haven't heard a lot about who he could play or who he could be. But, Captain Britain is that's where I'll throw my hat in, is I want him to be Captain Britain. I think that would be pretty awesome. He looks the part, and, bro would actually get to be British. Because for some reason, he's not in a lot of his movies, even though he is, But I think that would be dope, man. I think that would be really dope to see him in the MCU. I think people would love it, especially if he's not just another, Superman clone. Even though I know that's what a lot of people are kind of hoping for or looking for. Let me see. I can't remember who. Hold on. Let me see if I can bring it up. Where is it at? Wait, I need most recent. No. Here we go. Oh, okay. So Mike Beasley says they have not revealed what role Cavill has accepted, but it's not Doom. I remember a lot of people wanted him to be Dr. Doom, but that's not going to be happening. Not sure who started that rumor, but Doom at most will have a cameo or post-credit scene after the Fantastic Four gets, after the Fantastic Four movie, possibly. So the most likely role is Captain Britain, which makes a lot of sense. But Beasley also says that he's shared with us that Captain Britain may be getting a Disney Plus show. If you watched Eternals, the seeds for Captain Britain have been planted. He's shared with us that Marvel wanted Cavill for either Sentry or Captain Britain, and we can see that from his comments above, he wants to be Captain Britain. The reason he's speaking out is because it's getting closer. Feige has reached out to Cavill's reps, and the negotiation phase has started. Cavill's first priority is Superman, you know what I mean? And he would not speak with Marvel until he had a new deal in place with WB first. Well, we know how all that went. And you know, he's done with Superman. He's done with being the Witcher. It was possible that he's James Bond, but that probably isn't going to happen. So now it kind of just leaves what he's doing with Warhammer 40K and possibly being able to be Captain Britain. Now, I know there has been rumors of him returning to, you know, the Netflix stuff for doing what they're doing, but that will not be for the next 2 to 3, possibly 4 years if that happens. It will take a long time to get a lot of those deals all established if Snyderverse does in fact get sold to Netflix. So I don't think that's something that we would have to worry about too much. But we know that Henry Cavill is focusing on Warhammer 40K. He was just in Argyle. He'll no doubt be in other movies like that here and there. But his main focus is doing Warhammer 40K. I believe he's an executive producer and he is the lead actor in that. So he's definitely all in there. But he's an actor, so he'll probably do the Sherlock Holmes stuff again. Another one of those with Millie Bobby Brown and, you know, some other little small projects like that along the way. And I would not be surprised if he would, you know, deem, you know, that mantle of Captain Britain, because my guy, he looks the part, and I mean, you know, what else is there to say? Like, he looks the part, and I believe we also have a concept art of him being Captain Britain coming from Boss Logic. Oh no, maybe never mind. Maybe that's why I couldn't find it, because it's not Boss Logic. Yeah, it's not Boss Logic, and I don't think this is the one I was looking for either. But there is one out there somewhere. So definitely go and check that out. So definitely go and get that checked out for sure, for sure. I'm going with Captain Britain also. Plus, they name dropped him in Endgame. I can't remember that. I don't know why, but I can't remember that. Yeah, I think it would be Captain Britain for sure. You know, and I think it would work, bro. I think it would work, and I think it would be freaking awesome. I think that would be so dope to see him be Captain Britain. Like, no cap. It would be just no cap, pun intended. When Steve was spying on Peggy when they went back in time. Oh. Okay. I remember. I'm pretty sure I remember that. Yeah, that would be dope though. Another thing, I mean, it's just, I mean, I guess it could work, but I'm just like kind of tired of the MCU just kind of bringing characters up and being like, yeah, they've been here the entire time. It's like, bro, what? How? It bothers me a little bit. Not too much, but just like, yeah, you know, just enough. Whoa. Boom. Here's one of those pictures. This isn't the best one. Here's another one. I really like this one. And then we also have this one. I mean, him being Captain Britain will work 100%. This is probably one of my favorite ones. Like, this suit is a little bit better, but it's not at the same time. Like, this pose, this face, this suit, yeah. Yeah, man, let me know how you guys are feeling about Cavill, possibly joining the MCU as Captain Britain. And if not, if you don't want him as Captain Britain, let me know who you want. That's why I think the Fantastic Four and X-Men are from the universe Monica ended up in. Then the incursion will mix them all in our world. Kinda, yeah, that's what's going on a little bit. Fantastic Four are going to be from the 60s. We definitely have the X-Men in that universe that Monica ended up in, and the one that Doctor Strange ended up in, that had Professor X in there. And then we're going to have Deadpool coming from the Foxverse with all of those X-Men characters. So what you're saying is going to happen, but it's not going to be, it's just going to be all of the universes. We're getting full-blown Battle World. Like, that is happening for sure. So, the Fantastic Four, though, the Fantastic Four movie is going to be very similar to Captain America, the First Avenger, to where it will be a time period piece. They're in the 60s, and then at the end of the movie, they're in present day. It's kind of the same vibe there. So it's still in our universe. We also got that hinted at us when Doctor Strange was like, Fantastic Four, didn't you guys chart in the 60s? So, having that go up there and having that kind of mixed together, it's a reason for that. And yeah, that'll be that type of vibe. The First Avenger, the First Family, I'm pretty sure they have Pedro Pascal, so they could kind of be a little bit older with some children maybe, but we don't know. So that'll all be awesome. I'm really excited for it. I can't wait to see, what transpires there. Like, honestly, it's going to be amazing. But again, let me know who you guys want to see be Captain Britain. Who do you want to see be Captain Britain? Who do you want to see Henry Cavill play? Are you excited about Thunderbolts? What characters would you like to see kind of pop up here and there in that movie? Captain America, Brave New World, what's going on with that? How would you guys feel about all of the things that we've talked about today? What characters do you want to see pop up? What's the vibe of the movies that you would like to see? What is all of those things? Like, what are you going for exactly? I want to know, so let me know in the comment section down below. Whoa. And with all that being said, excuse me. And with all that being said, I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in and vibing with your boy Sensei today. We talked about a whole bunch of awesome things. This week is going to be a jam-packed week for sure. Tomorrow we're going to try to do a trailer watch party as well as the episode 4 watch party and review for Halo. We did not get to do that last week since Avatar: The Last Airbender dropped, so we'll be trying to jump in and get that watch party done this week. We will also be doing our final, not our final, but kind of like our bookend episode for the Wheel of Time this week. So on Wheelie Wednesday, it will be coming back, and we will be talking about all of the Wheel of Time and how amazing it was and how much we enjoyed it, and I just can't wait to have that full discussion. Thursday, Dune is coming out on Thursday, so we'll be watching that movie. You guys can expect to see my review up here on the channel, and then we might even go live and talk about it, possibly even on the ride home, and try out the new lives and shorts thing that they have going on YouTube. I don't know how to do that, but we'll definitely try it out and see what happens there. And Friday, don't know what we're doing Friday, but we might be doing something on Friday. I would like to do something every single day this week. That would be dope. Again, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you guys haven't already, drop a like on the stream because it helps out tremendously around here. We are going to kind of be switching up the content a little bit, but not a lot. Kind of doing these shorter bursts of streams, as well as doing our watch parties and trailer reactions and getting all that stuff out there, and book club, and just kind of, honing in on what kind of content we're going to be pumping out here for all of you amazing people, whether it be for my gifts content, my book stuff, or whether it be for anything else. Speaking of gifts, you guys need to know, if you don't know, that I am accepting alpha readers for my story, Gifts, The Lands of Ghaffora, book 1. We are doing, like I said, we're doing alpha readers right now, stepping in and possibly, understanding a little bit more, getting to know a little bit more about my book and my universe, and being one of the first to get your hands on the first 5 chapters. Let me know, because we're going to get it pip, pop, plopping, and slopping. You're going to want to join our Gifts Discord so you can have all of that information at you guys at the ready. Because, like I said, we will be doing a lot more, watch parties and all the things alike, and such and such and such. So, I hope everybody is big bing chillin'. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. I hope everyone has had a marvelous Monday indeed, because I have had a marvelous Monday here with all of you amazing people, if I do say so myself. And yes, man, like I said, we're going to have a whole bunch of content pumping out on this channel in the foreseeable future, and it will be a little bit different and more tailored to specific things. If you guys do want to be an alpha reader, make sure you fill out that alpha reader application. You'll see the link in the comment section down below, and then you're also going to want to join that gifts cord, the gift Discord, if you will, where you will have access to, even more things along the lines of my story, and what will be going on with there in the foreseeable future. Going into March, we're definitely going to be pumping out some more content with gifts and all that good stuff. My book stuff has been going swimmingly on the back end. I'm just now creating all this other content for Marvel Bros, creating TikToks, creating all these other things. You know what I mean? It's a lot of stuff that's going out everywhere. So definitely tune in on all those platforms. If you guys have TikTok, if you have Instagram, if you have Facebook, look up Marvel Bros on that platform of your choice, and you'll be able to get that content. Because I know not everybody is on Instagram, everybody's on Facebook, not everybody is on everything. So for those of you that are on whatever you are on, look up Marvel Bros, drop that follow, drop some likes on the content, so we get into your FYP, we get all up in your algorithm, so we can pop up on your page, and you can stay up to date with all the latest news and pop culture, all the latest pop culture news and Marvel things alike, that way. So with all that being said, I definitely appreciate each and every one of you guys, man, so much, for real. Those of you that lurk, those of you that talk in chat, I appreciate everyone. You guys are all awesome. The discussion will always continue, and look out for this on your podcast, where you get your podcast. And yeah, brother and ladies. So if you guys haven't already, make sure you follow us on all social media platforms at Marvel Bros to stay up to date with all things Marvel and everything pop culture. You can also follow me on social media at Sensei Finito to stay up to date with all my thoughts, theories, and opinions on whatever particular thing I may be partaking in at that particular time. And then, of course, you can check out that podcast wherever you check out podcasts at. We drop podcasts every, we're going to start, every week, is what we try to do. But there's been a lot of stuff going on, but it will be popping out. In March, every single week, you'll be able to check out a podcast. Every week you'll be able to check out a podcast from us, and then we're gonna try to get that Wheelie Wednesday podcast going as well. February definitely flew by. Next thing, I just kind of blinked, and now February is over. You know what I mean? I don't know if anyone else kind of feels that way, but that is definitely the way that it feels for me, man. It feels like we were just talking about, oh man, February is gonna be awesome, and now we're at the end of February, and it's about to be March. So, Hey, it's awesome though, and you guys are awesome as well, and I definitely appreciate you guys. As I always say, I hope everyone had a fantastic day, and I hope you guys stay awesome, stay nerdy, and don't forget to stay marvelous. Excelsior.
If you guys would like to support Marv Bros, all you gotta do is visit our website at www.marvbros.com and buy some merch. Represent the superfan. Or you can join our Patreon to get early access to content, patron-only scoops, giveaways, private Q&As, and those sacred watch parties. We appreciate you guys. We'll catch you on the next one. Excelsior.
On today's pop culture news update.